Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Coming to you live today from Florida, it's the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Vero Beach. If you need a blanket or gloves, they're in the foyer. This is the coolest place in Vero. My name is Paul Amaru, and I'm honored to be the pulpit host for Reverend Capo. I'm pleased to welcome all of you to worship this morning, whether you are here in our sanctuary, our beautiful sanctuary, or watching from home. We are united as a liberal religious community of spiritual seekers. I am a senior citizen with gray hair, glasses. I'm wearing a black vest and a blue shirt. We welcome all of you in the fullness of your age, your race, your ethnicity, your way of being in body and mind, your gender expression, sexual orientation, and religious background. Whether you have a PhD or a GED, we welcome all of you here. Together, we work to be a community of open minds, loving hearts, and helping hands. If you are visiting for the first time, a special welcome to you. We hope you stopped by the welcome table this morning in the lobby, got a name tag, so we can say hello to you. When you walk into the fellowship hall for our coffee, please take a red mug so that we can identify you clearly. I hope you feel warmly welcomed, that today's message speaks to you, and that we will see you again. And don't forget to join us for coffee after the fellowship, in the fellowship. Now, the introit.
Do this? Yeah, okay. It is our tradition. You know, we're an imperfect human beings here. I fully embrace that for me too. It is our tradition to light a chalice at the beginning of our services. From my perspective, it's to ground us, to help us be here and present. So please join me in saying our chalice lighting words, which are up here on the screen. May this chalice flame bring the light of different truths, different paths, and different voices, all needed to cultivate a transformative story of justice, love, and beauty. Here we go. Oh, here, I get it. There we go. Well, that's because I dropped it. That's right. Hold on for you. There we go. There's a real flame. Okay. All right.
opening hymn number 325, Love Makes a Bridge, verses 1, 2, 3, and 5. This is a new hymn. Elise is going to play it all the way through before we sing it. Please rise as you are willing and able.
Love makes a bridge from heart to heart and hand to hand. Love finds a way when laws are blind and freedom banned. Love breaks the walls of language, gender, class, and age. Love gives us wings to slip the bars of every cage. Love lifts the hopes that force and fear have beaten down. Love breaks the chains and gives us strength to stand our ground. Love makes a bridge that winds may shake yet not destroy. Love carries faith through life and death to endless joy.
Good morning. My name is Ron Lombardo. I am a grateful member of the UUFVB. I identify as a male, the son of a second-generation Italian father and a first-generation French mother. I am 6 foot 1 inches tall, and I have wavy brown hair. Wavy as in it has been waving goodbye since I was 16. Today I'm here to share the Time for All Ages, the story. I had to do a little research. It's about the platinum rule. I think pretty much we know about the golden rule. Are you familiar with the platinum rule? No. So listen and you'll learn something. The platinum rule, of course, is an enhancement, an improvement, an add-on to the golden rule. So, today's story, the platinum rule. Once upon a time, there was a child who'd been taught to live by the golden rule. The golden rule says, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. When the child first heard this, she thought it was A, a great idea, and B, it might help her to make many new friends. So, knowing that the first day of school was coming soon, she decided she was going to stick to that rule no matter what. And as for the first day, she decided to make a bunch of P, B, and J sandwiches. That's right, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Because as it turns out, those were her very favorite. And so she made them and brought them to the school to give them to all the other children. She was so excited and happy with what she was planning, she skipped all the way to school. Then, at snack time, she began handing out the sandwiches to each of her classmates. But to her surprise, 2 of the children tried to give them back. She was confused and rather sad that the 2 children didn't want them. I don't think you understand, she said. I'm practicing the golden rule to treat you the same as I would like to be treated, and P, and J sandwiches are my favorite, so you really must eat them. Well, it began to turn into a rather big disagreement and got sort of loud. So the teacher had to step in and, taking the saddened child aside, asked, why would you insist that everyone eat the sandwiches? Well, the child explained she was decided to live by the golden rule no matter what, and she was only trying to make new friends. The teacher smiled, and I completely understand, yes. However, those two children are allergic to peanuts and would never have been able to eat the sandwiches. The child was upset. This was not what she had wanted at all. The teacher, seeing how upset she was, "Perhaps I have a better idea," the teacher said. "Have you ever heard of the platinum rule?" No, I haven't." "Well, then let me tell you. You were trying to live by the golden rule to treat others the way you would want to be treated, but the platinum rule asks us to treat people the way they would want to be treated." Well, the child liked the sound of this and took it home in her thoughts and made 3 sandwiches for the next day after asking those 2 children, "Do you like jelly?" "Oh, yes, very much." "Fine." Well, she showed up the next day with 2 jelly sandwiches and 1 peanut butter and jelly sandwich, 2 for the other children and 1 for herself. A rather unusual concept that I need to marinate on, but the platinum rule is the name of this story today. Thank you for your time.
And now we're going to sing our children out.
Well, that was interesting, wasn't it? So I want to ask you to do something for me. Take a minute just to look around at who's here. See, this is our community. Some people who are new, some people you've known for a while, some people maybe been here a couple of weeks. So what we'd like to do is to take a moment and not only just look at these people, but go over and say hello. So what I invite you to do for the next few moments is say hello to those people around you. All right? Good morning. Hey, I'm still on.
Weird spirit in the you know, anything's gonna happen. We don't know. It's all in the fall.
It's all good. All right, here we go. First, I want to tell you we have more pebbles this morning for the water and pebbles. We were running low on pebbles last week, so we got more pebbles. This is a time in our service when we acknowledge that we each come together with our own joys and sorrows, gifts and needs. Before me is water, the very sustenance of life. Water can buoy you up, nourish, cleanse, and replenish you. It is a source of life which creates beauty and the very making of tears. This community, like water, is the very sustenance of one another's lives, especially when we can remember the sacred obligation to buoy each other up in times of sadness, to nourish one another in times of want, to cleanse one another with acts of kindness and generosity, and to replenish one another when our hearts are weary and worn. Today, with this water, I remind us visually of our sacred obligation to this, the greater whole. I add salt. For the tears that have fallen in this last week, may we remember that there are those among us in pain. So let us be tender with one another, for we know not what is held in the silent sanctuary of one another's hearts. And I add flowers to remind us of the beauty and joy that surrounds us in our lives, that floats on the surface of many of our faces and enlivens our spirits. In a moment, I will invite those who will find it meaningful to come forward and place pebbles in the collective bowls we have here. But if you would like me to put a pebble in for you, please raise your hand. Excuse me. Now please come forward if you wish. May all that we offer one another keep us connected and blessed within this hour and within the week ahead. May it be so. Amen.
Before we begin our offering, I want to mention to you that this is the last week that you can make an announcement for the Sunday Fund nominations. This is the deadline today. This is the time in our service when we express our gratitude and commitment by sharing our financial resources. To contribute to the fellowship, place your offering in the envelope that's in the pew slot in front of you. Or you can donate to UUFVB by clicking on the Q code with your phone. All other offerings that go into the plate will support the purpose of an organization that addresses the needs of the underserved in our community. And that is the purpose of our Sunday Fund, one of our congregation's major social outreach efforts. Today's Sunday Fund recipient is Treasure Coast Community Health. The loose cash you put in the offering basket will go to Treasure Coast Community Health, or you can use the Q code, as I mentioned before, to direct your offering to them. Treasure Coast Community Health provides comprehensive health care to all, regardless of socioeconomic circumstance. This important organization operates 8 health centers addressing community needs, including behavioral and mental health, dental, medical, pharmaceutical, and vision services. As we now receive the offering, let's do so generously and gratefully.
Thank you. The following meditation was written by Unitarian Universalist Reverend Bob Janice Dillon. I invite us now into a time of prayer or meditation. Each of us has our own way to enter that space. You might take a deep, slow breath. Let your eyes rest or close. Bring your attention within yourself. Today is an adventure. Each day is an adventure. It begins with the earth turning to reveal the sun, a ball of flame almost millions of miles across that we have known throughout our lives and the lives of every earth creature who has ever lived. The adventure of the day begins with the blood of life flowing through our arteries and capillaries, with the breath of life connecting us with the trees in mutual wonder and uplifting joy. And the day progresses through sorrows and disappointments, snatches of good luck, with 5-year conversations continued with old friends, and a new hello to the fellow traveler on the sidewalk. Is this not all an adventure, companions? Do we not travel through time and space and through the electric galaxy of emotions swirling in the space of our minds? Is it not a desperately exciting opportunity for the world to happen and us to care about it? Is not this whole story, is not every blink of our eyes a miracle? So may it be.
One, two, three, four. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do you see me as an equal in your eyes? Do I unfold? Do you see me for the person that I am? Do you see me as an equal, free of rules inside? I'm living well at home here in my plan. They say don't judge a book just by their covers. How can we do less by sisters and brothers? For we are truly equal, one people just the same. Let's love each other as we are living on this plane. Did you know that human difference is the way to be? But only when we know that our behold. For our differences make us stronger, each with our abilities. And together we comprise one family home. They say don't judge the books just by their covers. How can we do less by sisters and brothers? For we are truly equal, one people just the same. Let's love each other as we are living on this plane. It's true here in me and there in you. Just behind we can see what we can do. Together we can truly be known for our abilities, living, loving, laughing, being free. Now we share this tiny planet home as one big family, though different as the fishes of the sea. But we're blinded by appearance, we disable those we see, and we handicap our own humanity. They say don't judge the books just by their covers. How can we do less by sisters and brothers? For we are truly equal, one people just the same. Let's love each other as we are living on this plane, and we'll all be home once again, and we'll all be home once again.
We have such talented people here, don't we? We really do. Well, today I want to talk about stories. We tell them, we listen to them, we're often persuaded by them to believe certain things. But what if everyone only told one single story? Not many stories, just one single story. What could possibly be the danger if we all told one single story? What if we hold on to, with all of our might, to one single story? What do you think might happen? Could it be dangerous? Massive numbers of illegal immigrants are streaming across the border. That's one story. How about Satan-worshiping elites control the media and politics? If we hold on to that story. Or these stories. Mass shootings are staged hoaxes. Barack Obama was born outside of the United States. The moon landing was fake. Giant crabs ate the passengers of Korean flight 007. Giant crabs. Democrats run a pedophilia ring in a pizza parlor. Now, what's the danger in sticking to one story that you know must be true because you trust the person who told it to you? A North Carolina man fired an AR-15 rifle into a pizza restaurant in Washington, D.C. a few years ago because he was investigating the Pizzagate conspiracy theory. The stories I've mentioned are, of course, conspiracy theories. For a story to be deemed a conspiracy theory, it must have certain elements. A conspiracy between two or more people, a secret action, and a motive. Karen Douglas, a professor of social psychology at the University of Kent in the UK, says, conspiracy theories are likely to be most successful when they confirm what people want to believe. They are also likely to be successful if they are interesting, exciting, and offer a big explanation for a big event. The top conspiracy theories are difficult to dislodge. In part, that's because they fulfill a psychological need. That need may be the social need for the listener to feel that they know the truth, that they have certainty, or that the existential need to feel safer or feel a sense of control over what happens to them is important. And hardcore believers, well, they're adept at rationalizing away evidence that contradicts their beliefs. Eyewitnesses who dispute the conclusions of every of the biggest conspiracy theories are mistaken, according to the believers, or they are part of the conspiracy. There is one single story, and they will not be swayed away from it. Not being able to tell what is true from what is false, my friends, is dangerous. But my friend, is it the conspiracy theories? Are they the only ones that are dangerous? Those single stories about things that they think are happening around the world? What if we have a single story of a religious nature about how to treat people? That can't be problematic, right? Oh yeah, the story of the child and the golden rule seemed pretty straightforward. A single story about how a good person should treat other people. But real life isn't that simple. The child knew what she would want to do unto her was doing the same to other people by giving them peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. So to be a good person, she thought, well, I want peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. They would want peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. So I'm going to give them peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. I'll be the best person that there is. Peanut allergies aside, they have the potential of killing a person. And that certainly never occurred to that poor child. What about the story we create about people who are different than us? Surely those stories can't be dangerous. I mean, they're based on what our families said and showed us about our past experiences with people who are different than us. What's the danger in creating a simple story about someone who is different due to their race, their religion, their gender, their abilities? What is the stories that you learned growing up? A story, perhaps a simple story, that you still carry with you, that you tell yourself about people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. Maybe the story that you grew up with is they are unable to function adequately. What does adequately mean? That they drain the finances of society. That they are unpredictably dangerous. That they don't understand what you tell them. That they aren't creative. Have you noticed the art in our lobby right now? The people who created that art are adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities. When I learned about Village Arts and the art exhibit coming to UUFVB, I have to say I was pleasantly surprised. And I was equally, if not more, delighted that the art was for sale. And is still for sale, by the way. Get out there. I was here for the artist reception. And I can tell you the art show was a resounding success. It was packed with people. And people bought art, so much so that Village Art had to bring out extra pieces to meet the demand. After the reception, I reached out to the executive director of Village Arts, Chrissy Berry, to tell me more about the artists. I wanted to move beyond my initial surprise, beyond my limited worldview, beyond the stories I've been told, the story I carry within me, my own prejudice, and really try to understand the world as it is expressed through the prisms of these artists. So I thought this morning, just because some of you may have a story inside that you carry with you, that you might hear one of their stories, which might change yours. One of the artists is named Peter. Peter is a 22-year-old man who lives with autism. By all accounts, Peter has a quiet world where most people rush him to respond, so he prefers to nod in agreement. But for those with the virtue of patience, he has a soft, sweet voice and loves to encourage others and give genuine compliments. Peter's playful personality is often the center of joy at Village Arts. And he offers to help his friends before they even ask. Peter and his family are devoted to rescuing mistreated animals. And most people don't know that he spends every day diligently caring for the animals, feeding them and cleaning their stalls. Oh, farm animals, by the way. And he offers them a gentleness that he hadn't previously experienced. But again, Peter does all this quietly, with humility. A humility we should strive for. Peter is exceptional at offering a silent empathy that is warm and welcoming without the need for words. His smile and expression say it all. Peter is an artist, a brother, a friend, a helper, a farmer, a leader, a handsome prince to many. Although his verbal expression is limited. The tapestry of Peter's life is vibrant with intersections that are unexpected and wholesome, and his presence is a gift to anyone blessed to be around him. His art is available for enjoyment in our lobby for a limited time. Was this story of Peter a surprise? Did your story about these artists change after hearing his story, after viewing their art? I tell you this because what I and my friends, many of us, might have within us is some simple, single story about people who are different than us. These stories might, most often, be based on information and attitudes we'd heard from people as we were growing up. And they had to create their own stories with limited information and societal generalizations. In the great scheme of things, many of us often have very limited experience with certain others. And might base our stories on misinformation and generalizations that we were exposed to. In other words, we all have prejudices within us. as does every human being on earth. Is that dangerous? What do you think? Yes. Thank you. The single story creates stereotypes. And the problem with stereotypes is not that they are wholly untrue, but they are incomplete. They make one story become the only story. My friends, each person is unique. Each person has more than one story about who they are. No single white person, no single black person, no single person with mental illness or disability has a single story that would describe who they are. And yet, when we hold on to a single story about someone, some other, we might not be able to openly welcome them if they enter the doors of this church. We might not be able to effectively collaborate with them because the story can get in between us. And at its worst, a simple single story can create divisiveness, hatred, social instability, marginalization, and violence. Yes, a single story can very much be dangerous. So what do we do? First and foremost, we must look within ourselves. What's a simple, single story that you tell about others? I want to give you an example. This may be helpful as you look for your own simple, single stories within you. My wife, Martha, was raised by her grandparents in the South. She was taught that if she was walking down the sidewalk and saw a group of black men walking toward her, she should cross the street for her safety. That was a single story she was taught. As an adult, she's able to recognize that this story is rooted in racism. So now, if she's walking down the sidewalk and a group of black men are walking toward her, she stays on the sidewalk. She keeps going. And she usually says hello to them as they pass by. It's taking her a long time to get to that place where she can do that without feeling some anxiety. Because the lessons we're taught when we're children are often the hardest to change. But she was determined to not allow a single story rooted in racism control her behavior. So I ask you again, what simple single story do you carry within you about others, people who are different than you, strangers? What might change if you examine that simple story a little more closely? Would you be willing to let go of that story? Or maybe pieces of that story? When you let go of a simple, single story that is within you, something miraculous happens. A journey begins with so many questions and so much curiosity. And oh my goodness, the wonder and awe you will experience when you meet someone who is different than you. So my friends, I invite you, as you leave here today, to let the adventure begin. with the blood of life flowing through your arteries and capillaries, with the breath of life connecting you with trees and mutual wonder and uplifting joy, let the day progress through sorrows and disappointments, through snatches of good luck, with 5-year conversations continued with an old friend, and a new hello to a fellow traveler on the sidewalk. Is this not an adventure, companions? Do we not travel through time and space, through the electric galaxy of emotions, swirling in the space of our minds? Is this not a desperately exciting opportunity for the world to happen and us to care about it? Is not this whole story, is not every blink of our eyes and every person that comes along our path in all of their complexity a miracle?
Please join us in our closing hymn, When Our Heart is in a Holy Place, number 1008. Please rise as you are willing and able.
When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we trust the wisdom in each of us, every color, every creed and kind, and we see our faces in each other's eyes, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we tell our story from deep inside, and we listen with a loving mind, and we hear our voices in each other's words, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place.
Our closing words were written by Unitarian Universalist Reverend Vanessa Southern. May the stories we tell name the largest truths of what was, of what is, and pull us forward to what should be, as stories were always meant to. Amen.